anyone wanna go waltzing in the garden? Does anyone wanna go dance up on the roof? Does anyone wanna go waltzing in the garden? Does anyone wanna go dance up on the roof?
Dancing in the garden. It's a great day to do that. Great weekend to tackle those outdoor spaces as well as the inside ones. Home wizard Cindy Dole. We talk about this every Saturday, and with me is a woman who just beams in beauty and light because she is surrounded by all the fun and the good stuff at the LA County Arboretum in Arcadia. And if you haven't been inspired to go there yet, you will be by the end of the show. So, Jill, thanks again for hanging out with us. Let's talk about the low water plants and plantings that you can find at the Arboretum, and that we can now look at these little areas and study it and then think, you know what, that's going to work in my yard. Right?
Absolutely, yes. And the areas that I was talking about specifically before, we can go to different areas of the world, bring a pad of paper and bring your camera. And that's the whole beginning of the process, is that we can go to these gardens, and whatever your eye catches is, the name, you want to write that name of that plant down. You want to start looking for alternatives for hedges, alternative for some of the trees, and then some perennials that you can throw into your garden as well. And you can make, I think that people have a misconception about low water use gardens, that they have to be cactus and succulents, which, by the way, we have a beautiful desert garden. And so if you are into cactus and succulents, then please, go to visit.
Your underwater garden,
the
quote
underwater,
unquote. I love that. And describe what it is. I mean, it looks like coral.
It does. What we had done was we created a beach and an ocean, and as you go into the ocean, you kind of walk down into an underwater canyon.
It's all succulents.
And it is. It's all the great, the octopus agaves and, some of the cactus and the spiny, that look like eels, and little rosettes and such that, maybe look like something that's going to be in a coral reef or in an underwater canyon. And again, these are all cactus and succulents that are just done in a very whimsical kind of manner. And it's a terrific little installation. We absolutely love it. And it's right outside of our desert garden. So you can kind of move from that, and right across from South Africa. So now we're really immersed in the low water use plants, even the underwater plants that are no water use kinds of plants. And you can move into the desert garden and kind of look at your southwestern style of gardening. And then right after that, we have a very cottagey, it looks almost like an English cottage garden of just California natives and low water use plants that you can use in your own backyard if that's the kind of design direction you want to go in. You can use these plants to create a cottage garden. You can use these plants in an Asian design. You can use these plants in a super modern, linear, kind of installation, because there's so many different cool colors and textures and lines that you can use with these plants, or just go flowery, flowery, flowery. These plants are like in a constant state of, near death. And so they're constantly blooming. They're blooming all the time. They're throwing out flowers. And it's one of the most colorful, beautiful gardens. And then you get the benefit of having the beautiful birds, the wildlife that many of these plants are going to attract, the hummingbirds, the butterflies, the bees, all of these kinds of things that make the garden more interesting and fun to participate in.
Well, that's a great suggestion. Then we should just get a pad of paper and a camera and just kind of begin that journey of brainstorming. What are some of the pretty types of low water use plants that really speak to us? Right. And then find out if it'll work in our zone.
Go to what your eye is drawn to, and this is what I always tell my clients, because that's the starting point. You can start to determine, even if you know nothing about the design, the kind of color that you're attracted to, and the kind of look that you're attracted to in the garden. And of course, so many of these plants have such cool looks, textures, leaves, things like that you can start writing these things down and expanding. Unfortunately, the plant palette that's been presented to us through nurseries and Home Depots and things like that are the ones that are just kind of the ultimate survive. We can overwater them, we can underwater them, and they're going to survive, But if we want to decrease our water, we can start learning more about these kinds of plants and the beauty of these kinds of plants. And we can go to places, may I?
Sure.
Okay, like Las Politas, which is we were talking about, and I've been a customer of Las Politas for many, many years. Their website is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going there right now. It's laspilitas.com. HomeWizards.com, and it looks like if you're thinking, as you're listening to this, what can I do and have native plants? There's a selector on the website, right? And it says My Native Plant Selector. And I'm going to go there right now and just keep dogging. You go ahead. I'm going there now.
Okay, yeah, you can go there. You can learn about the different plant communities. If you want to take it a step further, you can. Yeah. Well, if you just want to look at pretty pictures of plants, they have the most unbelievable encyclopedia of plants and plant index that are all California native, drought tolerance. You can look at pretty pictures. But you can also go to, hey, what is the different habitats? So say you live in a coastal habitat, you can go to their website and you can look at the coastal habitat and all of the plants that are included there. And it's pretty sure that if you want to go coastal and use these things, that these plants are going to work in your garden. If you live more in a chaparral habitat, they've got lists of habitats and companion plants and things like that in the chaparral that you can also go to and source from. And these are kind of surefire winners in the yard because they've already sourced them, they've wildcrafted them, they've found the best of the best that they can find.
They've wildcrafted them?
Oh, sure. A lot of these are wildcrafted and are found, and produced then in production houses, but they're able to use them in your own backyards then.
All right, when we come back, we're going to learn more about not only low-water plants and some great, fun, beautiful choices, but do you love orchids like I do? That's one of the other great classes that the Arboretum is offering, along with permaculture and under the Mediterranean stars. Some more great planting ideas. The list goes on, so stay tuned. You're listening to Home Wizards. I'm Cindy Dole, the number 888-KFWB 980. We're back in just a moment.